So good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to show you the last step in trying to solve a quadratic equation, and this is going to be solving by finding the quadratic formula, and inside the quadratic formula is something we call the discriminant. So today we're going to be talking about just the discriminant. All right, so very quick review. So far we've talked about all these different ways on how to solve a parabola, solve a quadratic equation. The first way we looked at was to solve by graphing, actually, which is really hard and takes a lot of steps. And then we got into the algebraic methods. So the first one was to solve by factoring. We broke everything into its parentheses. Once we got the parentheses, we could use the zero product property, pull each one of these two pieces out, and solve. So for this quadratic, two numbers that multiply to give us 15 that add to give us 8. You could use 5 and 3. Your two parentheses are x plus 3, x plus 5. Pull each piece out and you get your two solutions. X equals negative 3 and x equals negative 5. So that was solved by factoring. Then we had the square root method. If you have one quantity squared and that piece is by itself on the left-hand side, we could do the square root on both sides. Remember, the square root piece would cancel with the square. You're left with just x minus 5 equals. Right away, you always put in your plus and minus sign, and then we broke apart the square root of 24. 24, we could choose 4 and 6. 4 is the biggest perfect square in there. Square root of 4 is 2, and then you cannot do the square root of 6. Last thing you would do would be to add the 5 to the other side. Plus 5, kind of scrunchy here. X equals 5 plus minus 2 root 6. Then we had the method called complete the square. That's what we worked on in the last part, section 9.8. And then today we're starting in on this last piece, which is called the quadratic formula. All right, so the first big formula that you need to put in your notes, this is super important. This big formula right here, this is how we're going to solve the quadratic formula. So again, up at the top, you've got your basic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c. What you're concentrating on is those three letters, a, b, and c. You're going to take those three letters and you're going to create what's called the quadratic formula. So everybody needs to write this formula down in your notes. X equals negative b plus and minus, big square root sign, b squared minus 4ac, and then big divide line, big divide, 2a goes in the bottom. Now, underneath the radical sign is just this piece called b squared minus 4ac. That's the piece that we're going to be talking about today. Just that piece, b squared minus 4ac, is called the discriminant. So that's the only piece that we're working on for today, is just the piece underneath the radical. So everybody make sure you have this formula in your notes. Okay, now three things could happen once you get this answer, b squared minus 4ac. This is going to give you a one number answer. Three things could happen. If that number is greater than 0, b squared minus 4ac, if that is greater than 0, you will have two answers, and they will both be real numbers. Option number 2, if your b squared minus 4ac number is exactly equal to 0, that means you have one answer only, and it is also a real number. And choice number 3, if your b squared minus 4ac ends up being less than 0, negative, that means you're going to be back to having two numbers, but those two numbers are going to be imaginary. So if that number is less than 0, negative 7, remember, this piece is the stuff that is underneath a radical sign. So if you try to do the square root of negative 7, remember, you can't. You have to break that up into two pieces. And the square root of a negative 1 is always the I number. So you are going to get two answers, and they are both going to be imaginary. That's only if your b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Okay, so everybody put this on pause. Make sure you have these 3 possibilities in your notes. Okay, now we're just going to go through a few of them. X squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. We want to find the discriminant answer and then answer what kind and how many. So what is the discriminant? This is like an A, B, C answer. What is the discriminant? What kind? And how many? This is all that you're going to be answering on your worksheet for today. All right, so remember A, B, C. Probably will help you to write these numbers out. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 1. And the only piece we're solving is this, b squared minus 4ac. Your b number is 2. 2 squared minus 4 times your a number is 1. Your c number is 1. 4 minus 4 times 1 times 1 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. So the discriminant, that's part A, the discriminant is 0. Now if you go back and look at your choices, when the discriminant is 0, that means we have one answer. So how many? One answer, and what kind are they? Real. So the discriminant is 0. There's one real solution. Number 2, 3x squared plus 2. Now be super careful here. Ax squared plus bx plus c. That's normal. Your a term is 3. Do you have a bx term? We do not. Your b number is 0. And your c number is the plain number with no x next to it. So your c number is 2. So now when we do b squared minus 4ac, your b number is 0. 0 squared minus 4 times a number is 3 times c number 2. 0 minus 4 times 3, 12. 12 times 2, 24. 0 minus 24, negative 24. So what is the discriminant? Negative 24. The negative number. Negative number means you're going to have 2 solutions, and they are going to be imaginary. 2 imaginary solutions. Number 3, 2x squared minus 7x minus 4. A equals 2. B equals, be careful, negative 7. Don't lose the minus sign. C equals, again, be careful, negative 4. B squared minus 4ac. Your B number, negative 7. Parentheses, negative 7 squared. Minus 4 times A number, 2. C number, negative 4. Negative 7 times negative 7, 49. Minus 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. What happens again when we have a minus minus? Plus. Plus 49 plus 32. 81. Discriminant, answer 81. That's a positive number. Positive number means they're going to be real solutions, and there are 2 of them. 2 real solutions. All right, so that's it. Those are some good samples. Use those to help you. You're working on the 9.9a worksheet. All you are doing is those 3 pieces, A, B, C. What is the discriminant? How many solutions, and what kind are they? Now tomorrow we're going to take this discriminant and find the total answer of the quadratic formula. Okay, so for today it's just the discriminant. Good luck.